Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. This is a one-man show here. 1,405 days since Richard was murdered, and we do not have his body. Let's see if everything is working. We have a lot of good news today. Today was a great day. Um, and I want to share that with you. Let's see if I can get started. Let's see. Okay, here we go. 1,405 days um, since Richard was murdered, and we don't have his body. And we have breaking news. Good day, very good day, because, we have spent the last years just pleading, through letters and emails, putting together all of the evidence that we were asked to collect. We were asked to investigate our son's case. We did that, and we've put this together. We've put letter templates together so that we can write letters and emails and everything, and collected email addresses, um, and just went forward, just absolutely every day, just sending out communications of pleadings, right? Pleadings that have evidence to back it up, right? Uh, so, and of course, now, and we understood that this would take a while because there are so many facets to this case, and there's multiple cases inside of the case, right? Like the illegal search of our home in Florida. That's a case inside of the case. And then, of course, you have the Walmart mass shooting, which is a case inside of this case. Um, and that's a huge case. And of course, it's been sabotaged, it's been botched, it's sitting there, it's just sitting there, and there's a lot of questions about it. And yesterday, there was an election, and the results, we are absolutely grateful to Judge Almatrejo for, uh, judging justly in our son's case. And we've said that, and we haven't really tried to insert too much into um, that election. There's enough uh, political directed elections, right? Political directed um, politics that we didn't want to participate so much. Now, when it comes to William Timmons and the Pink House, right? The William Timmons up to no good. We're going to try to uh, get out the word. Do not vote for William Timmons. Do not vote for William Timmons. So we'll try to get that one out. But as far as El Paso goes, we try to just be very grateful to Judge Alma Trejo, even though we knew that she was the choice for Joe Spencer, who is up to no good. Okay, up to no good. And, 3 days ago, if you read the article, you would see that clearly in that article. And, but we just said, look, the article made accusations against Joe Spencer, who was not running, and 2 days before the election, right? Um, we we focused on Joe Spencer, and pointed out that article. People could read it if they wanted to, and it really is shocking because um, it confirms what we know, that there's interference, that there's tampering, that there's intimidation. Um, Bill Hicks, in our open records, we know that there was an illegal access to files, just like Leilani Hart. So, it's the same mode of operation with Joe Spencer, with Bill Hicks, with Leilani Hart. Um, this unlawful actions. And of course, Joe Spencer, you know, got got bucked off the horse. He was a high horse, on a high horse, and now he hits the hard ground. So that is really what happened yesterday with Almatrejo, uh, Judge Almatrejo not getting the votes. It means that Joe Spencer didn't get the votes. That's what that means. Because he, he was, um, let's just say Almatrejo was his choice. And so by not getting the votes, he did not get the votes. And that was very, very good news for us. And so James Montoya, he has, um, some hurdles left. He has to run against Bill Hicks, and uh, you can say what you want, that in a world that plays fair, you could say, okay, that's not too big of a hurdle. That's probably one little, uh, really not even an inch tall, right? But that's not how the world works, right? It doesn't work on a fair playing field, and so he has to, uh, see if he can beat Bill Hicks now. Now, hopefully, Bill Hicks won't even make it that far. Would that be nice? In a fair world, Bill Hicks would be in shackles right now, right? He is a usurper. He's a usurper, the trespasser. With Joe Spencer, um, according to the accusations that were made 3 days ago, intimidated and interfered in and orchestrated the replacement of a district attorney, that being Yvonne Rosales. That's rotten. That's rotten. And anyone defending their actions, that they can play unfair like that they can um, just dismiss thousands of votes that were cast for Yvonne Rosales, and just collude and connive and illegally access files, and just manipulate the situation unlawfully to replace her, is, it's like a kid um, rigging a ball game, or whatever. I want the trophy. I want the trophy, and I can't wait to that I deserve the trophy. I just want the trophy. And that is how I see this real political games. At an adult level, it's even more dangerous because people are getting killed, right? People are getting killed. People are getting hurt. Families are getting hurt. Taxes are being levied. You see that with Heather Wilson wanting the El Pasoans to pay a lot more money, because she has her own reputation that she has to whitewash or something, because it's so stinky. It's so stinky. Heather Wilson is yeah, that wow. And so that's being a rigged job right now, and it just, I have to say it a little bit loud so that maybe a few people out there in El Paso will hear it and will pass around the news, and the word will get out, because she means you no good. just like Joe Spencer means you no good, just like Bill Hicks means you no good. And you see that this response, and I'm very grateful for the response to the meme um, that admitted that Joe Spencer was corrupt. That's very, very good. And he's fallen on hard ground now. He's come off that high horse. And we'll see, we know that there are federal and this is the good news. We've gotten so much good news. Um, because we have confirmation that there is a federal investigation going on and a state investigation going on. So there is a lot that we don't see that's going on behind the scenes. And we also, because of this media directed politics, uh, you have KTSM and KTEP and El Paso Matters and the Real Fit Fam El Paso, uh, being key because they're like the media directed politics. They're the media directed politics. And they are connected with the people. The people are connected. David Candelaria, Jules Tugadon Chan, um, um, what's the other guy's name from KTEP? Well, Bob Moore, and then there's Aaron Montas. Um, you know, it just it is so clear that that they're not in the job to give you some factual stories about what's going on to help you out, to help you understand, to be a service. No, it's much more than that. It's much more. And the retaliation, the media directed politics is very, very, very clear, and very evident. We have the evidence for it. So, yeah, that is okay. So, what's the breaking news? The breaking news is we have the connection. Um, we have the connection that's connecting Richard's case and the Walmart case and the media directed politics. And I have to be very careful how I say all of this, uh, you know, putting it all together. And with Veronica Escobar, y'all. Veronica Escobar plays a huge role in all of this. I don't know how many hired manipulators she has. And some of them are very ruthless, absolutely vile and vulgar, vile and vulgar. And so it's all kind of connecting together um, because they seem to have worked together for a long time. Um, and I can't really give you everything because we are, putting this all in for investigation. We've, submitted this all for investigation, but absolutely, it's the media directed politics. The media directed politics. Let that be part of your vocabulary because it is up to no good media directed politics. And of course, Richard's case, is absolutely right in the middle of it all because of him being a whistleblower and what he knew, when he knew it, what he was reporting on, that would hurt the gravy train, but also to hurt the government funded contracts, right? The government funded contracts, the bonds. Um, that's where the big bucks are. There's a lot of big bucks there, and misappropriations of funds of, you can say they're victims funds, but I think there is misappropriation of a lot of funds. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the infrastructure problems that we have. Trillions of dollars in debt we have, and that's not counting all the money that we're not in debt with. And we can absolutely see that we have been given the short end of the stick, that these trillions of dollars did not come back even half-fold, even a third-fold, to give us infrastructure and services that would just launch our country into a very competitive, really unstoppable condition, or place, a position in the world. It would just be unstoppable. But we see that didn't happen, and that things are breaking down, and of course that could not happen without a broken Department of Justice. And so if we can't have oversight and get justice for the murder of a soldier on Fort Bliss, because the DA's office is usurped and the medical examiner's office is illegal, well, both of them are illegal, right? Then, you can see how they have such control that they're up to no good, for our soldiers, for our service members, for the rule of law in our country, and who else, the poster boy for up to no good, fallen on hard ground, is Joe Spencer. I mean, keeping the Walmart case on ice, keeping Patrick Crusius 5 years, not bringing him out to talk to the people, it would pressure Judge Medrano, to move the case, for at least have some kind of scheduling events, but they don't have it at all. I mean, it's so clear that Joe Spencer is up to no good when it comes to the Walmart case, right? And, so with Judge Almatrejo losing, that means that Joe Spencer lost. And I would say what needs to happen now is Yvonne Rosales needs to come back. Okay? Not because that's what I want. I want it to the degree because that's what the law requires. And if we're going to get justice for Richard, we need the law to be supreme, right? We need the law to be obeyed and justice to reign. And the only way justice can reign is if the law is obeyed. And right now, it's not. They're absolutely acting unlawful at every turn. And these are even our attorneys, these are our judges. And not all of them, but a key ones that we need in Richard's case to give us justice. So, and this, of course, exposes who the other shooters are in the Walmart case. And that's why this is so sensitive, y'all, because they want to keep that hidden, that there were more shooters in the Walmart case, and that for 5 years they have covered this up. And Joe Spencer absolutely knows, y'all. He absolutely knows. So the referendum, the election, uh, is a clear confirmation that the people know that he's corrupt, that the people know that the Walmart mass shooting is more than one shooter, that the narrative is a false narrative, that they're sick of it, that they do want to get to the bottom of it. Um, so it's a very, very good day. It's a very good day, and I hope that Yvonne Rosales is paying attention, and that she gets strength from all of this. And I've been asked, how do you stay strong? Um, and I can tell you this: there's a little a Bible study that I did. And people are going, oh, another Bible study. Yes, another Bible study. You got to do those daily Bible studies because you can glean so much from them. And part of it was, the question was, how does Jesus cuss you out? Right? How does he cuss you out? When you are not doing the right thing, how does he cuss you out? That's one heck of a question to have during a Bible study. How does God cuss us out? I mean, really, that's kind of absurd. Who would ask that kind of question? Whatever. Well, anyway, it was part of this Bible study, and the answer was, he says, "Ye of little faith, ye of little faith," right? And that has stuck with me. Anytime that I don't understand the way forward, I don't understand how in the world are we going to get the Army to admit that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss? How are we going to do it? I just say, whatever, it's in God's hands. We move forward, and voila, we received the notice of death. We received the notice of death. We didn't even expect it. We received it. And, so this is the thing. You have to have faith. Even if it is just a mustard seed of faith, you have to have faith. I think you have to have faith more than hope, right? Hope is good, but it's faith. Faith that if you do the right thing, absolutely wonderful, wonderful things will happen. And from the very beginning, we have known that it is the right thing to do to ask about where our son is. It's the right thing to do to listen to what the CID asked us to do, listen to what the the chain of command asked us to do, which was to investigate our son's case and bring them leads. We absolutely agreed that, okay, we'll do that. We have done that. We have brought them leads, and we have written many, many letters and attached a lot of evidence, and one that you can absolutely access, that's legal to access, is our amicus brief. And I posted that up. That was one of our letters. One of the harder letters to write because it has to be in a certain, did you know it has to be 13 font? It has to be 13 font. Um, so you have to know exactly how to do it. And we submitted it, and it was accepted, and they are reviewing it, and it is evidence, hard evidence, that Bill Hicks usurped the 34th Judicial District Attorney's office. And that's amazing because I don't think Yvonne Rosales expected that a little old family that wanted to know where their son is and would receive the notice of death, which is the admission that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. That's what they did with that, because the paperwork is the place of death is Fort Bliss. He was murdered on Fort Bliss. And because all other options have been made null and void, the only option is murder. And so that's why them saying Richard's place of death was on Fort Bliss, they're saying Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. Legally, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. That is what that is, and that is very, very, very important for people to understand. That's what that notice of death was. Now, we got that. We got that just as a gift of faith, right? And I don't think that Yvonne Rosales expected us to get that. I don't think that she expected us to even thought that we would submit an amicus brief to a federal case as big as the SB4 case. It's a very, very big case, y'all. You wouldn't believe how many lawyers are involved in this case, right? And so we had to include every lawyer that we absolutely knew could find that, including Bill Hicks's lawyer, who is committing a fraud on the court, and had to notify all of those lawyers that a fraud on the court was being perpetrated by Bill Hicks and his lawyer. His lawyer is committing the fraud on the court, and I don't think that Yvonne Rosales thought that. So my tip for her is to do the right thing. And the right thing is to put on her boots, march on over there to the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office, and assert her rightful place as the district attorney. That's the right thing to do. That's what would honor every vote that was cast for her. That's really, really important. And to not worry that if she doesn't know how things are going to work out, because if you worry too much, it's ye of little faith. God might just cuss you out and say, ye of little faith. You've just got to submit it, do it. And, everything in life is a risk. The risk is you're at your own risk, and it's worth it. It's worth it because, right now she knows that we've done a lot of work, a lot of work to make it easy for her to complete her time, right? Her tenure, her time that the El Pasoans had voted for her to be the district attorney. And, thinking about when she started, and she's, started right in the middle of all the COVID mandates. The offices were empty. We would walk into these buildings, these government buildings, and they were empty, right? They were empty. Oh, it was just terrible. You couldn't get things done. It was absolutely hell. Absolutely. I hated COVID. It wasn't, it was crimes against humanity on every front, closing down justice like that, closing down small businesses like that, scaremongering people. I mean, it's just crimes against humanity. So, yeah, that's what she was confronted with. And then she had the long-term John Briggs with Beto, right? Another Beto that was in her administration, in her office, and they were absolutely up to no good. She had to fire John Briggs. She had to absolutely fire him. So that is, yeah, So, but we do know that in that short time that she was there in office, she was looking into Richard's investigation. She was also looking into the misappropriating of funds by the El Paso Community Foundations of the Walmart Victims Funds. All of the donations that had come in, even the monies from the state governor that came in, um, tens of thousands were given to Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia. There is a real question to, is she eligible for those funds? The little baby who's the Anchandas um, that died, that baby, from what we understand, never got anything. And yet Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, who is, shares a residence with Danae, that targeted our son's case, that targeted Danae Katzen targeted our son's case. It's very clear, and there's so much more to this story, but I don't want to overload because it is enough. It is enough to know that she targeted our son's case and that she was uh, getting paid tens of thousands of dollars. That is questionable, very questionable. So, and as soon as that investigation was moving forward, 2 days later, um, the petition to remove Yvonne Rosales. So it is, very clear that the media was helping to drive the politics. And of course, you had Bill Hicks with Bob Moore, plus um, Felix Valenzuela, plus Joe Spencer, colluding, conniving, orchestrating the replacement of a duly elected DA and disenfranchising all of her voters. And that just ruins our country when something like that happens. So, no, I don't have kind words for him. He's hitting hard ground. His reputation to me has hit hard ground. And these accusations coming out now of fraud, of intimidation and interference, just corroborates what we already know that's going on. So that's really the big news, is the investigations that we have confirmation of, that are going on, and addressing the election that um, yeah. And you know what? The doorbell, even though it's almost 1 o'clock, the doorbell's ringing. So thank you, everyone. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.